Hey everybody, God is hot out here. I decided to take a walk, sitting down now. I was super tired, I was sweaty. It was so hot inside my house. No, we don't have AC, we have fans though. So I decided to get some fresh air. Who told me to do that? It's even hotter outside. Anyway, I actually wanted to, no, actually you don't know. I wanted to talk about my grandfather. His birthday is August 15th, which is in a few days. He passed away, God rest his soul, in 2013. Seems like yesterday. Miss him very much. We all miss him very much, my family and I. And I just kind of wanted to talk about the kind of person he was to me, and his faith in God. My grandfather had cancer. He died of cancer. During the last stages of it, he was definitely suffering a lot, and it was hard to see him in that way. Very hard for us to see him in that way. His spirit, though, was so, beyond strong, admirable. He didn't complain, and, when we look at him, he just looked like he was in pain all the time, but, if you talked to him on the phone, you would know he was sick. He had a very strong spirit. He's a man of God, very, 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 very faithful. This ant better not come upon me. We're gonna have beef. Yeah, go that way. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to focus on him for this video and what he represented for me and the change that he represented for me. Once he passed, it was, as obviously with anyone that you love that passes, it's hard. Selfishly, we want them to stay, for us to love them a little longer and appreciate them a little longer. I actually wish that I spent more time with him, because yeah, he was living in New York before, so it was easy to see him all the time, but he had actually moved to Florida some years back, and it became harder to go and see him, but I should have just done it. In any event, I really, really miss him, and every year around this time, it literally feels like yesterday. It feels like I still have his number in my phone. Like, it's like he's still here. I mean, he's still here in spirit. I used to dream about him all the time, see him in my dreams, and they were so vivid, and I would get to hug him, and it was really good. But my grandfather was a man of faith, very strong faith, very admirable. He never complained. Even in his last couple of years, last few months, days of not being well, he didn't complain. And a lot of us complain over the smallest thing. And some things, yo, this ant is literally trying to crawl. It's trying to bite me. I'm not having it. Switch my seat. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, my grandfather. He definitely taught us a lot. When I just reflect back on his life and how he lived his life and what kind of person he was. Like, he didn't respond to and react to negativity. He wasn't really a defensive person. He was a man of a few words. He showed his love through his actions. He was really a man of action. That's how he showed us that he loved us. He didn't say, he did. And I think, reflecting back on it now, that's amazing. A lot of us talk more than we do. He was definitely a man of God, very faithful, never complained, like I said, and his passing really put things into perspective for me. I literally made a decision at that point in time that I could no longer live in the anger and the fear and the pain and the sadness that I had been living in, and I felt justified in it because I've been through a lot in my life. So any one of us that go through a lot, we feel justified in what we feel toward people and about our feelings and how we move through life. We create excuses for ourselves to to do the things that we do, and there's really no excuse. We always have the choice to do better. We don't have to be a victim of our circumstance. We don't have to let our circumstances that happened in the past control us. It's easier said than done, but it literally takes a lot of conscious effort and a lot of conscious work, and good intent. You have to move through life with good intent in your heart. And he was one of those people. I mean, his strength was immeasurable to me. You know, I used to get sad when I thought about him, but I just, you know, I try to focus on the good times. And I'm the first granddaughter, so I got to spend a lot of time with him. I'm really grateful for that. But he taught me a lot about having faith in God. And because of where he came from, you know, he was born in Jamaica. I don't know too much about his family history, unfortunately, but I know he was an orphan at a very young age and worked for most of his life. And for someone to come from that kind of background, you know, not having much and still be the person that he was, to me is amazing. Like, what excuse did I have? You know, there was really no excuse. There was no excuse for me to be angry and carry all these feelings around with me like a heavy luggage. And, you know, I used to consider myself a good person, and not that I wasn't, but I was not happy. I was angry. You know, I carried feelings toward people, and it didn't get me anywhere. It stifled me a lot. And it was I was very anxiety ridden, depressed. And I knew I had to make a change, but his death, unfortunately, but fortunately, you know, was the indicator for me to change my life and to not let his death be in vain. So I'm very grateful, very, very grateful for the lessons learned, because I don't want his death to be in vain, and to live in his honor. I do my best every single day, every chance that I get, to be better and to do better and to hold myself accountable for doing so. And it's not easy, by any means. It's not easy, but it can be done. If you really want it, you know, be better and change, it can be done. It's very possible. And also, you know, wanted to talk about the things that we hold important in our lives that are not that important. Messed up people, money, work. You know, we move in life with intention, and we move with a lot of intent, actually, and rapidness towards certain things that are appeasing to our eyes and appeasing to momentary gratification, to fill our voids and insecurities that we feel about ourselves. It's much easier than working on yourself, that's for sure. Like really, really working on yourself, and no matter what anybody did to you, holding yourself accountable. And I would say for the last couple of years since he passed, I've definitely made an effort to have intentional faith with God, because what you put into something is what you get out of it. And it's not for that sole purpose only, but since having a closer relationship with God, I'm more at peace. I have more understanding of things. You know, instead of getting upset with people, I pray for people. You know, and it might seem like a passive way, but it's not, because there's strength in kindness. What is that? These little critters crawling on me. What was I saying? Get distracted so easily. Sheesh, I really did forget. I lost my train of thought. It's the heat, man. It's literally the heat. Oh yeah, moving with intention in your life. So, you know, what you put into life is what you get out of it. So it's the same thing with God. Whatever you put into that relationship is what you get out of it. A lot of us claim to, you know, well, a lot of black people especially refute God, you know, without really understanding that the Bible is about us. Sorry to tell you, but it is. And to really look at it in context, you know, instead of just not believing and not reading. Like, you're not reading to understand, you're reading to what's the word I'm looking for? You're reading to, you know, find ways that is not true. And that's not a good way to approach things. You know, you'll believe anything in a history book, but you won't believe in the Bible. You can take it in the same context and still apply it to your life, because having a relationship with God will only make you better. It only holds you accountable when it's done the right way. You know, there are a lot of churches and pastors out there that are not teaching the right way, and unfortunately that has plagued the minds of a lot of minority people. But I encourage all of you to find God for yourself. I mean, that's what I did. I stopped going to church for a long time because I was in and out of church for years, just trying to find something more, you know. I was trying to find something more, and I couldn't. It was just always something missing. Doesn't matter what the message was. It was always something missing. Like, I wanted to feel that God was real. Like, there had to be something else. And I'm not going to delve into it now. This is going to be for another video, but I will talk about the Holy Ghost. We're going to talk about that. It's definitely a topic of taboo, but that and African spirituality and things like that, but that's for a whole another video. But however, you know, moving with intent in your life and moving with intent with God will do nothing but benefit you in every way possible. You know, we chase after these bullshit people. We chase after, you know, a job that drains us dry. We chase money that can be stolen from us. We chase all these things that really don't feed anything but the right now, you know. So I say all that to say, you know, move with intent and just be conscious of the fact that, you know, whatever you put into something is what you get out. And the same thing applies to God. Same thing applies to God. There's no different. You can't stand there with your hand out and be like, why isn't God blessing me? What have you done for him to bless you? Have you done anything? You know, a lot of us even, and I've written a lot of things on Facebook about it, you know, and I'm writing from my own experiences because I rejected God and I rejected Jesus also, you know, and it wasn't until I found God for myself is when I believed. It wasn't what somebody else told me to do. I found it for myself, and it's possible. If that's what you want, you put in the universe, that's what you'll get. That's exactly what you'll get. Whatever you put in the universe is exactly what you'll get, but you have to really desire it. You can't just say it and be like, you know, you have to be open to what the truth may be, no matter what it may look like, because it's not always going to look like what we think it should. And I think a lot of us get caught up in that. We go through things and we don't realize that it's a test and it's something to help us grow. You know, if we changed our perspective and kept our minds open and said, you know what, I'm going to keep my mind, I'm going to pray, or I'm going to ask the universe for something, I'm going to keep my mind open because I don't know what it's going to look like. It can come from anywhere, from anybody, you know. But if you move with intent, God will absolutely never fail. I mean, I've had so many things happen, good things, and to me it's just like, it's almost impossible. It's like, how did that happen? And then, you know, when I sometimes I'll ask God, like, really? Like, you did that? And then he'll confirm it with a person, or he'll confirm it with something that just is so specific to the situation. It's just completely amazing to me. Nobody could tell me that God isn't real. Sorry. But, you know, my grandfather's passing definitely taught me to delve into my faith a lot more. And, you know, before that, I wasn't at peace. And I'm not saying it's an easy road. I'm not saying that, you know, my way is for everybody. But, you know, if you want something different in your life, you have to do something different. And that requires sacrifice. Sacrifice of things that we, you know, we're used to doing. Period. You can't do the same thing and expect things to show up. This is not going to happen. It's literally not going to happen, you know. And feeling entitled to things isn't going to work either. You got to work for them. And you got to put that energy into it. Start walking back home. So, there'll be plenty of videos for me to talk about my experiences. If you guys have questions, I'm really open to answering them. Keep it respectful, you know, and I would definitely answer and oblige to commentary or feedback or, you know, whatever it is that you guys want to say or talk about, I'm down. So yeah, in honor of my grandfather, after all of that said, in honor of my grandfather, which I should have started the video with this, but I didn't. It's all good. He, like I said, he was a man of very few words. But him and my grandmother sometimes would kind of go back and forth, not arguing, but kind of like, you know, like they're talking about politics and stuff like that. So sometimes, because she has a very strong personality, like most Caribbean women, and sometimes when she would, you know, get loud or say something that he didn't agree with, he would kiss his teeth. He would be like, and honestly, I didn't know justice because I swear he would do it for like 5 minutes straight. It was the funniest thing in the world to me. But only Caribbean people will get that because we suck our teeth for everything. Somebody walk in front of you. Somebody driving dumb. Chuh. Anyway. So, thank you for those who watched. guys. I don't know what the schedule of my posting is gonna be yet. I'm just gonna kind of free ball it, I guess, until, I don't know, I find something that works. But these videos are to be as free and organic as possible, so I don't know if I want to have a schedule for them. So I love you, Grandpa. Happy early birthday. Did this video in your honor, and I thank you for being the man you were, moving the way you did, and you know, we live and love in your honor. Thanks everybody for watching.